Hello and welcome. Today I would like to show you Warfighter, the modern Special Forces card game. This is a kind of special game for me because, as you may know, Advanced Squad Leader was always my absolute top war game ever. And Warfighter is probably the first game that made me like any game more than Advanced Squad Leader. I really got deep into this game. I really like it. I enjoyed playing this game a lot, and I'm thinking of getting more of the expansions for this game. This might be strange for me because I am not a big fan of buying expansions. I would like to buy new games instead of expansions usually, but I think that Warfighter might be a fine exception from this general rule. What is this game about? Warfighter, the Modern Special Forces, is a part of the bigger family of Warfighter games, which are solitaire card games about combat. In each of these games you command a squad of warriors or soldiers, depends on era, and you have to perform a kind of mission. This game was released by Dan Versen Games, DVG, and this is my second game from this company. I also own Shaman Leader by the same company, and despite having some similarities, these two games are quite different. And Shaman Leader is, well, a pretty okay game. This is not a bad game by all means, but if it comes to my opinion, Warfighter is much better, and I hope I will be able to show you why. In this video I am going to play a single mission from this game, and I hope I will be able to show you, well, maybe not all, but maybe most of the rules, and to show you how to play this game. When I got it, it came with quite a big rulebook. As you can see, it's pretty big. It has about 80 pages of rules, and when I get it, I was a bit afraid. Like, oh my god, I got another game with huge rulebook and it will be a long time before I will be able to play it. Actually, no. This is something like called a Warfighter Universal Rulebook, and it has rules for all games of the Warfighter family together. So you are not going to use everything which is in this rulebook. You will also need to use separate sections. This is probably a very good idea when you have an entire family of games, but it can be problematic if you are starting your adventure with this game, because there is a lot of searching, a lot of checking, and you have to drive through all these sections finding the things you need. There is some help with these Warfighter card keywords, because there is a lot of cards in this game, and there are a lot of special words that are marking certain rules. This dictionary, I think, might be called like this, is very helpful, letting you check what you need and what it means. So, these two things are everything when it comes to the rules. The game also comes with a lot of cards, some counters, some dice, and this board. I think that the board is the biggest problem of Warfighter Modern Special Forces card game. As you can see, there is not much sections here. There is a lot of big empty space, places for some cards, and that's everything. I don't like this board, actually. This is my biggest issue with this game, because this board is not very economic. You are free to play your cards everywhere you like, or out of the board if you like. I think it can be done better, and I saw other games from Warfighter family, and I think they have much better boards. This board is probably the biggest problem of this game, but that's where the majority of the problem ends. Okay, so let's start our game. In this game we have three different kinds of enemies we can meet and two different kinds of locations. First, we can go with our missions somewhere in the Central or South America and fight against the drug cartels, or we can go into the Middle East and fight fight against insurgents or Middle East regular armies. In this game I will stay with drug cartels because they are easiest enemies and their missions are simple and I think quite fast. So, first thing first, we have to check our mission card and our objective. You can do it randomly, but for the purpose of this video I'm just taking the ones that I want to. So, my mission is covered and my objective is cartel boss. So you can see that our soldiers are transported with some helicopter. They are dropped nearby this cartel boss residence, and their job is to kill the bastard. So we are taking our mission cards and we are placing it here on the mission card space. Next, first we have to check where we are going to place our objective. So we are checking this card and you can see there is objective and 4. So we have to place objective card here. And now we have our starting area and we have our target. So next we have to choose our team. We are checking resources on the mission card and it says 30 and 7. So we have 30 and 7 points we can spend on our soldiers, their equipment and their special abilities. Okay, here you can see my team. It contains 3 soldiers and each of them is a bit different kind of soldiers. I choose them to show you everything that comes with this game. So, we have basically 3 types of soldiers. These are player soldiers, non-player soldiers that are marked with NPES, and squad buddies that are marked with squad. And each of them is a bit different. So let's start with player soldiers. Player soldiers are, well, you need at least one of them in your team. They are pretty important part of your team, and they are very useful. So what we have on our card? Here we have a resource cost. It tells us how many resource points we have to pay to get these soldiers into our squad. So he has 7. Next we have his movement factor. It tells us how many movement points this soldier has. He is pretty slow. He has 1. Health, well, this is pretty obvious. This is the number of wounds he can get before he will be knocked out. Next we have his loadout. So how much loadout points he can carry. His hand-to-hand value. So when he fights with hand-to-hand, he's using this modifier, and here we have his cover. This tells us which result enemy has to roll on his defeat cover roll to target him. Next we have non-player soldiers. Non-player soldiers are, well, a bit different. You can see they have some of the same values like his cost, movement point, hand-to-hand value or his cover, but here we have a bit different stuff. First of all, when you get a player soldier, you get only player soldier. You have to buy him some equipment, abilities and so. When you get non-player soldier, he always comes with some of his equipment that you don't have to pay additional points for. So this is pretty good to have one of them because they usually come with a lot of equipment and you don't have to pay more points for getting all this fancy stuff around. But what is more important? You can see here his health points. So he has 4 health points, but when he gets wounds, his number of actions is reduced. What are actions? Each soldier has a couple of actions to do during his turn. Normally, our player soldiers have 2 actions. But as you can see, Foster is pretty good because he can have 3 actions, which makes him quite fast dude. But if he gets wounded, his number of actions might be reduced. So if he will get 1 wound and his health points will be 3, he will still have 3 actions. But if he will be wounded twice, then his number of actions will be reduced into 2. Next we have a list of his equipment that he's starting for, and finally we have squad buddies. These are the cheaper soldiers in your squad. They don't have any equipment, and you cannot give them any kind of equipment. They are just as good as they come, and they get nothing. But the most obvious reason you are getting them because they are cheap, and you always want one more soldier because this is pretty good to have them. So squad buddies are always coming with 2 actions, and there is some kind of table here that tells us about his actions and his fire ability. Because he has no weapons, like this player soldier or non-player soldier, he has his own fire table here. So he has resource cost, movement point, cover, and now he has 3 health points and 2 actions, because you can see here are his 3 health points, and now here are actions. If he has 3 health points, he has 2 actions. If he has 2 or 1 health point, he has 1 action only. And now here are his fire rolls. If he fires on the range 1, you are using this, and if he's firing on the range 0, you are using this. Of course, these are all depending on his health. So if he's alright, he has higher chance to score a hit, and if he gets wounded, his chances to score a hit on the enemy are dropping lower. So this is our squad, and I spent all my 37 resource points to get the soldiers and some equipment for the Thomas. Because, like I said before, you don't have to pay for all these things that Foster comes with at the beginning of the game. You also get some ammo. Every time you get your equipment, you get a couple of ammo for each of these. And oh, I forgot to get 1 more ammo for this pistol. So now let's talk about these cards a bit. There are 3 types of cards you can get. These are your skills, your weapons, and additional equipment. First, about skills. Well, these are pretty obvious. You get a resource cost of this ability and what it gives you. So if you get shooter, which is very good, it allows you to add +1 to any of your ranged attack rolls, and it defeats cover rolls. I will talk about it more when we will get into combat. Next we have he has M16A3, which has cost of 3, loadout of 3, cost of 5, loadout of 3. So you can see his loadout is 11, and so he cannot get equipment which has a loadout higher than 11. So my current loadout is 3 and 4. So I'm alright, I can carry much more, but I don't need to. So here is this M16, and it has range of 1, so I can fire on the same card that I'm in, or on the one adjacent card, if there are enemies there. And I have 3 kinds of fire mode. Semi, when I roll 1 d10, burst I roll 2 d10, or auto I roll 3 d10. And on the range of 0, I need to roll 7 or more on d10 to score a hit, and on the range 1 I need to roll 8 or more to score a hit. Also, if I would roll 2 or less, I get a reload. So ammo is low, I need to flip counter with my ammo, and I need to spend one more action to reload my weapon. So you can already see what is the higher risk with using auto or burst. You get a higher chance to score a hit on the enemy, but there is also a higher chance that you get a reload. Also, I get him a knee elbow pads. This is a quite important thing for him, because his movement ability is pretty bad. It is only 1. And this knee elbow pads adds 1 to his movement value. So I think this will help him to move faster. Now, when it comes to Foster, he starts with a couple of weapons, well, like M4 carbine, which has the same stuff like M16, of course different values, but nothing new. And next he has ACOG sight. ACOG sight can be added to the rifle carbine SMG machine gun only, so you can add it to the pistol, for example, and it adds +1 to your attack rolls, and it is limited to get only 1 per weapon. I guess it's pretty obvious, and it cannot be used when you use a grenade launcher. So if you get a weapon with a grenade launcher attached like M203, you can only use it for normal fire, you cannot use it for your grenade launching stuff. Next he has M9 pistol, which can be used for self-defense. It is not a very good weapon, because you can see it is only a range of 0 and kill on 10. So not something that I would use very often. And grenade. Grenades are pretty good weapons. Their only minus is that they have range 0, but they have a pretty good kill number, which is 6. They have explosion of 4, so you are rolling 4d10 on them. They have penetration, and they can really be a nasty thing if you hit a couple of enemies with them. So it's good to have at least 1 grenade in your team, and if you can, buy more of them. Especially if your targets are some structures. If your targets are structures, you need something heavy than your rifles and carbines, and then you need explosives, and that's why grenades come in handy. And finally, he starts with Marksman, which adds +1 to his ranged attack rolls. So Marksman with ACOG makes pretty good thing for his M14, making it very deadly beast. And Rowie starts with nothing. He's just a squad buddy with no stuff. So we are almost ready to start our game. Next I have to make some preparations. Let's check our mission card. So I have to place inactive marker on this card. So it's technically on this place, but it's not in game, not an active. I have to activate this card first. Next I have checked my time. My time is 8. So I am taking this timer counter and I am placing it on 8 on the mission timer, and this counts the time I have for this mission. When this timer reaches 1, game is over, if I didn't achieve my goal, I lost. And one more last thing I have to do is to give my units mission action cards. Each player soldier and player soldier only, not non-player soldier and not squad buddy, starts with 6 action cards. So I have to give him 6 action cards. So it is good to have more than one player soldier in your mission, of course. I chose to have only one because I wanted to show you these other guys, but it is best to have 2 of them. And if you have 3, well, you rule. But of course, player soldiers are the one that cost you the most, because they come with no stuff. You have to pay your resource points for stuff. So it is hard to get them if this mission isn't give you much of the resource points. So action cards are your resources. I think this can be called like this. They come with some cool stuff on them. You can play them just to get some additional options from this card, or you can spend them. You can spend them to move your units faster. The choice is yours, but these cards are making the game much easier. Also, you might get a location marker. If you get a location marker in your card deck, remove this card instantly and get 1 card from the location deck. So here we have 2 decks. One deck is hostile deck, that's where your enemies come from, and here we have a location deck, and we have to take 1 card from the location deck and put it in our deck, and now we will be able to place this card on the here during our mission. Our goal is to place new cards here, there, to reach this cartel boss. So we are almost, I think, ready to start our game. And now let's go into gameplay. I would like to show you everything step by step. So I hope you will be able to understand the basics of this game and to play it soon after watching this video. So, I also have to take 1 counter for each of my soldiers, representing him, and place on his card, and then take another of the same counter and place it on the first card. This shows where these soldiers are. And now we have some special rule on this card saying, at the start of the first soldier turn, recon 1 location. This means that you have to draw 1 card from the location deck, and you can place it on the board if it's possible. It says 2 XP to play, nature, subtract 2 from the next location hostile value. So I don't have any experience points so far, so I will add to his deck. And now what I'm going to do, I will start with placing this choke point here. This is going to be his first action, because normally you don't have to spend action to place these location cards, but it says 1 action to play. So I have to spend 1 of his actions to place this card. And what we have on the location card. First, it's entrance cost. It says how many movement points you have to spend to enter this card. Let me zoom in a bit. You can see here is 2, so you have to spend 2 movement points to enter this area. What is if you don't have enough movement points? For example, let's say it is 3 and your soldier has 2. You can take 1 of your action cards and remove it from the game, and for each of these action cards you get 1 point. So this is one way to use these action cards, especially if you have some useless cards. Sometimes there are cards that you don't think you won't need them, so this is a good way to remove them from your deck. Next, here we have a nature. This is some of the keywords, so that's where this dictionary comes in handy. If it's nature, Let me check if there is any special information about nature. Yes, this is not anything important now, but it might be important if there comes some other card that has a reference for the cards marked as nature. So far, we don't have to care about it. Now, soldiers cannot move out of this location if there are hostilities. So, if there are hostilities on this card, you cannot move out of this location. So basically you have to kill all the enemies on this card first to move further. And next we have to check how many hostilities are about to appear here. You can see here is a list of the possible values of our resource points at the beginning of the game. So our resource points are 37, so we will check for the number of hostilities here, between 30 and 49. So there is 5. So now we have to take our hostile deck and draw a number of cards until we reach 5 or less. There is a possibility that we will get, for example, 6, because we will draw a card with 4 and then we draw a card with 2. So this will be a 6, and then we will have to stop. Okay, so let's draw cards. Now, I got Drag Runner, who is 1, and next I got Sniper, who is 5, and 4, so I still have to draw more, and now I have Lookout, who is 1, and now I have 5. These are the enemies that are on this card, and I have to beat them before I will be able to move any further. So, it was his first action, and now he can spend one more action to fire at any of them. First, let's take a look on our hostilities. Each of them has a number of hits he can get. You can see each of them has only 1, but there are some. Let me check. I might like to show you. Oh, for example, here we have a card with 3 enemy soldiers here, so we have to score 3 hits to remove this card. Next, we have their cost. You can see how it works already, and this is also our price. If our soldier kills this dude, he gets 1 experience point. He gets 3 for killing this dude and 1 for killing this dude. Next, we got his attack table. They always roll 1 d10, and now if he gets 3 or less, he gets a miss. 4 and 7, 1 wound. 8 or less, 8 or more, 1 wound. All. So all our soldiers on the same location get 1 wound. So he can be pretty deadly. Sniper. Well, you can see, but there is one biggest problem with Sniper. First, he adds +2 to the entrance cost of this card. So this card has entrance cost of 2, and now it has 4. Now he is screened by tag. If there would be a tag card here, luckily we have known, we would have to kill tag first before killing the Sniper. And he has penetration of 1. Next, Lookout, well, he is mostly the same. He is screened by tag and adds +2 to the entrance cost and makes reinforce 0. Okay, what it means. So this card now has entrance cost of 6, +2 from the card, +2 and +2. So it would be very hard for our soldiers to enter this choke point now. We have to take care of these guys first. He is also screened by tag, but luckily no tags around, and reinforce 0. What it means? If there is a reinforce value on the card or enemy soldier, every time after they will perform all their actions, we have to draw one card from the hostile deck. If the resource cost of the hostile card is equal or lower than the reinforce value, then this card joins the game. If it's higher, it is removed. Okay, so now we have to take care of these buddies. I still have one action with Thomas, so I will try to get rid of some of them. I think I will start with this lookout, because he makes my entrance cost higher, and he has reinforce value, so he's going to be killed first. I hope so. So Thomas is going to spend one more action to kill this sucker. So I am spending my second action, so I will have no more actions, and now I am firing at him. He's on the adjacent card, so I'm going to use range 1, and I will use burst. So I will be rolling with 2d10s to try to hit him. I get +1 because of the shooter ability, so I need to roll 8 or more to score a hit, and +1 because of the shooter. So now we have a chance to check the fire combat. Oh, where can I place it? For example, let's say here. We have to use two types of die. First, we are using this D10 dice for our hits, and this red die for the defeat cover rolls. So you are always rolling one d6 and the number of d10s that card tells you to roll. Oh, I think my camera dropped. Okay, this is fine. Sorry. So I'm rolling, and these are my rolls. I think these are pretty good. I have 10 and 7, and I got +1 because of this shooter ability. So I have 10, you cannot get higher than 10, and 8. This is, and 5 for the defeat cover. So let's check for our lookout. He has cover of 5, so 3. So I need to get on the d6 result which is equal or higher than 3, which is pretty good. I get 5. And now I get 2 hits. So he is killed. If I would have, for example, 1, and I don't have a shooter card, because as you can see, shooter card is pretty good because it tells defeat cover rolls. So I don't have to care about this die normally. But let's say I wouldn't have this shooter card and I would roll 1. So I would score a hit anyway, but I wouldn't defeat his cover. So that if such thing happened, I would have to place suppression marker on him. He is still alive, but he won't be able to perform any actions during this turn. Same thing would happen if I would defeat his cover, but I would roll, for example, let's say 4 and 3. I wouldn't score a hit on him, but I would defeat his cover. If such thing would occur, I would have to place suppression marker as well. But we don't care about it. I kill the bastard, so he is dead, and I get +1 experience point for Thomas for killing him. So I have to place experience point on the Thomas. And these are all actions performed by Thomas. I have also Foster and Rowie to perform their actions next. and my goal will be to kill this drag runner and sniper. If I would be able to do it in this turn, it would be amazing. So, Foster is going to be next. He's targeting this sniper, because this sniper is probably the most dangerous of all these guys. You can see he hits on the 5 or less. So, Foster is going to target him. He's using his M4 carbine with burst, so he will be rolling with 2d10, and he gets marksman. So he gets +1 because of the marksman and +1 because of the ACOG side. So this is going to be pretty good. The only problem is the fact that the sniper has quite good cover. He has cover of 4, so you need to roll 4 or less on the red die to defeat his cover. I hope I will be able to do so. Now, wish me luck. Oh, okay, so what we get? I scored a hit because of 10, and I get a reload roll because of 1, and I failed to defeat his cover. What it means? First, we score a hit, by all means, because we get 10, so he's suppressed. Next, because we cannot defeat his cover, he is not killed, and we got 1. This means that we have a reload issue. And it was our first action. I am going to spend another action to reload my weapon. So I get this ammo counter out, and I am allowed to fire again. And that's what I'm going to do. I will try to score a hit on this sniper again. Why the sniper? Because he doubles my entrance cost. And I would like to remove him as quick as possible. So, okay, we made it. We got 5 and 9. So we defeated his cover and we score a hit on him, so he is dead. Good. That was our last action. So Foster has no more actions. And now Rowie. Rowie has 2 actions. And Rowie is going to try to take care of the drag runner. And drag runner is here. You can see he has a cover of 3. And Rowie is firing on the range of 1. So let's check Rowie next. Oh, I forgot that Foster killed the sniper. So he gets 3 experience points of that. And now let's check. Rowie is firing on the range of 1, so he's alright, so he needs to roll 7. And since he have no any weapons, no any special stuff, he rolls only 1d10. Oh. He defeated enemy cover, but he missed. And because of that, enemy is just suppressed. So these 2 guys are out of the board. They are killed, and this dude is suppressed. This is pretty good. Okay, it was first action of Rowie, and Rowie has 1 more action. Well, Rowie might try to enter this card now, because we killed all the other bodies, so it is 2 again, and Rowie's movement is 2. But if I would enter this card, there is a higher chance that I would get more enemies. So I would like to try to defeat him first. So I will try to fire at him again. So this is my second action, and oh, I missed terribly. So this is the end of our actions, and now we are moving to the hostile activities. First, what are hostile activities? First, it is reinforced draw. We have to check the cards to check if enemy will get any reinforcements. In the reinforcement draw step, you have to draw reinforcements for each card with your soldiers in. You can see there is no reinforcements for the mission card, and if I would have any soldiers here, I would have to draw a card from the hostile deck, and if it would have value 0 or lower, it would enter the game. Lucky I have no soldiers here, so I don't have to draw for this card. If there is none here, there are some cards with no reinforcements, we don't have to care about it. But for now we don't have any soldiers here or there, so there are no reinforcements for the enemy. And next there is enemy combat phase, but this guy is suppressed. This means that he cannot fire in this turn. All we have to do is to remove this suppression marker, but there are no more actions for the enemy. And the last activity we have in the turn is to advance timer counter, so it goes from 8 to 7. And that's all for the turn 1 of the game. Now we have to flip all these action counters, and we are ready to start turn 2.